now. So the other one must be Cindy. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so any of your training, really simple. But first thing you need to know is how to access your account. You'll do that with this URL, asp.schoolmessenger.com/AMDSB. And that's going to take you to your login page, which looks just like, not that, but
that's his screen.
I'm not a Blade Runner fan or anything. You can see that picture. There we go. That's where your login is going to take you to. And everybody logs in with their default login ID, which we set up to be the first part of your email address. Everything to the left of the email address is your default login ID. And the password you'll create yourself, if you don't already have it set up for you, you can click the password or the forgot password link. That takes you to the forgot password page. And you can just put in your username, same thing as your login ID. And confirm it, click send, and then that will log you in.
I know, but we can't control the audio for the recording.
Sorry, question?
No, we've actually sent these instructions out to everybody, so everybody's done this.
Okay. So I'll just log in. Account. That's not what let me do. Just give me a second. I'd already put everything away. Now we get back up.
I wonder when Jason has his training.
There we go. And when you log in, you got to be taken to your dashboard.
Jason has this training too.
That's the main page of the program. So you always land when you log in.
Need to book it again.
And you're going to see a broadcast activity summary here at the top. This shows you how many broadcasts you set to your own account. And this shows all your completed broadcasts down at the bottom. So once they're finished, you'll walk back up right down here. And as you send broadcasts, they'll populate your content mix. And this is just an FYI thing. It's not anything very important. It's just going to show you the message formats that you use most often in your total broadcast via color-coded pie chart. And as time goes by, you can see all your own broadcast activity by the week, month, or year by clicking on these buttons up here at the top. You got the help access help link on the top right corner on every single page. And once you click that, you can access all training guides from this PDF guide link. You can download these and save them anytime. You can also access other help files with this .dash icon. Those are all linked by topic, and you just click through the topic you want, and you can click on each file, and it'll take you right through. And if the help files aren't helpful enough, you can go through the message, you can contact technical support anytime you need them, 24/7. There's a need help box in your dashboard, and at the bottom right corner of every single page is the tech support contact info, email and phone number. And again, 24/7, anytime you want. That's kind of like contact tech support. So any questions, any technical issues, or if you just can't remember how to do something, you can contact support anytime you need. And this is the same on every single page, so wherever you're at in the program, you just click the help. So when you want, you click the big red new broadcast button right here. That's right from your dashboard. You got to see the message center open up, and you go through the three-step process. So 3 steps are just who, what, and when. So from step 1, that's who. You got to create the broadcast recipient list here from the date of the import then. Step 2 is what you want to say. Step 3 is when you need to say. So step 1 is how to create a subject for the broadcast that you're going to send out right now. And you just title it essentially is all you need to do. save all broadcasts that you send out and reuse them over and over and over again. So if you have similar events that you want to send a broadcast for, you can pull up a previously saved broadcast from step 2, and then you can edit it any way you want to and send it again, and you don't have to remake the whole thing. Much easier to find a broadcast that you're going to need to use again if you put a good title on it now, so you can know exactly what it is. Reading the title, then you don't have to open it up and look. So I'm just going to call this one something other than stupidity. That's it. Yeah. Let's just call it picture. That's what I use there. So send out a little message reminding mom, dad, and everybody that you come to do this. So just something different. You guys know exactly what kind of subject you need in your own broadcast, so it doesn't really matter. Once that's filled out, you got 30 characters maximum, and it's a required field. And once it's done, you get a little green check mark so you can move on to the broadcast type. And the broadcast type determines the physical destination of each broadcast per message format. So this has nothing to do with who the broadcast goes to. This has everything to do with where they go when you send them to who you want to get. For example, if you send a phone message, which phone number should you get? That'll depend on the broadcast type you pick, which is dependent on the situation. If it's an emergency, every phone number is out for every contact that you send it to. If it's just a general type broadcast like this one, then only the first phone number is made. And also,
Emergency text should never be sent out by
both emails get an email,
only
and
admin
the text number gets the text.
or designated.
General type is just the first set of contact points in each format. Phone 1, email 1, and text number. So just pick your type based on the need, and then you come down to recipients, start building the broadcast recipient list from data and input in from Maplewood. And once you click add message recipients, just start with the custom rules. That's how you build your list by using rules, which you'll add one at a time once you have a physical list until you left eventually with just who you want to contact. So if you click in, you select a field, you have all your rules, which are just nothing more than the data fields from user input. And you'll start with contact type. That'll let you pick the type of contact that you want to contact. You can just send a message to just the staff, or you can make a list of just the students, or you can make a list of everybody for the emergency list in case you need to contact everybody. But I'm going to make just the student list first. So contact type is student, and then I save the list. Actually, I save the rule. I don't save the list yet. But that adds the rule, and it filters the list. And you've got all the students here for this whole school district. Now, not everybody's going to see every student when they make an all-student list, because your data is already pre-sorted to the building that you're working. So if you're an administrator, you'll have this admin tab on the top of that blue section. If you're not an administrator, then your data is already sorted just to the building that you work in. So administrators, if they wanted to send a specific message to a school building, would have to add the school rule next, and then pick the actual buildings that they want for this list. But you who are users and non-administrators, you will already have this step done for you. So everybody that you see here in this recipient is going to be already in the building that you work in. So you can skip on to the next level of the list as far as the rules go, which might be grade. And then you pick all the grade levels that you want to add to your list. You pick as few or as many as you want, but if you pick a grade that's outside of the building that you work in and you're not an administrator, then you're not going to see a data for that grade. So let's just pretend I want a third grade list. So I can click grade 3, click save, and that filters the list to all the third graders. There they are. So all the third graders in the school district, that's who I've got on my list right now. And then I can keep on sorting it as far as I want. Homeroom, absence date, etc. If I change my mind, I can get rid of that grade level and then add it back and maybe include the grade level that I should have used. Maybe I want grade 5 instead. So I'll save it again, and now I've got grade 5. And if this is the list that I want, then I can click add recipients, and there's the list. Now it's not permanently saved yet, but you want to save it, because once you save the list forward, import, send any new info, this is going to be an updated list. That happens every morning at 3:50 a.m. So to save this list, I click cloud right there under actions, and then I can name it whatever I want. And again, you got up to 30 characters. And now when I save it, I got the new name and no more cloud. The cloud's gone, that means the list is saved. And anytime I want to use this list again, whether it's today, tomorrow, next week, next year, it is still going to be a current list of fifth graders no matter what, based on this morning's Maplewood import. So if I use this list again next week, and in the meantime, there's been a new fifth grader that's come to town and they're in school, now they're going to be on that list. If it's at the end of the year, all the fifth graders are off that list because they've hopefully gone up to sixth grade. And all the fourth graders send this up to the fifth graders. So they get your phone number, your email, your text number, anything that changes as long as you keep up with the data in Maplewood, it's going to automatically update in SchoolMessenger for every list and all the data in there. And then anytime I want to use this list, I open up SchoolMessenger and can add message recipients. I can click save recipient list, and there's the list. You're only going to see your own list, so you got to make your own list. Because everything's account specific. That's the default. So you're not going to see my list in your account unless I wanted you to. And that's another feature. I'll publish and subscribe. That's getting into the advanced territory. But if I want to use this list again, there it is in my save list. I click the checkbox, add it, and there it is. And it's always going to be just as current as this morning's info. Now I might want to change the target audience to get to that message for that list. And if I want to do that, I can come over here to contacts and guardians, and this data also imports at the same time. And any guardian or contact is associated with the student's contact record is going to get the message by default. So you've got guardian category 2 and 1. The default is every guardian listed and connected to a student's record is going to get the message when I send it to the record of that student.
No, guardian
if I want to restrict who does get it, then I make my changes here by clicking the checkbox. And if I save it like that, then only Guardian 1 is going to get the message when it gets sent.
Jeff,
We'll do our select.
Jeff, the Guardian categories, is that the, when I'm looking at my contact list and I see a student that has Guardians 1 and 2, is that list?
Exactly.
Okay. Thank you.
Now, you can look at the preview of the list, but you don't click on the eyeball, and you can see exactly where she's looking at. So even though you only have 3 phone numbers slots on file for each contact, you can be calling many, many more people than just 3 phone numbers, because everybody has their own list or their own set of contact info. So every guardian associated with the student's contact record would have their own set of 3 phone numbers, 2 emails, and a text note. So when I click that eyeball, I see the whole list, and I've got the last name alphabetically. That's how they all update, or that's how they all populate, rather. And then the first name, and then an ID number, and then the school that they're in on the far right, and then none of the destinations, each contact point in each message format. So if I click on Dylan here, I can see Dylan has all of this as far as data goes, and there's a data field that import in is the same thing as the rule, but we just use the import, not the import, but we just use the sort of list, which is a set of data that imports from Maplewood. And then I see phone 1 for Dylan and an email address. So Dylan personally might get the messages if that's Dylan's actual contact point. Otherwise, Kathy and Shane, which are guardians 1 and 2, probably mom and dad, you can click view next to each of their contact lines and then see their phone numbers, emails, and text as well. And then I can click back to Dylan, which should give me his guardians again. And if I click Shane, There's all change info. And if Dylan had any brothers or sisters, his name would also be attached to his contact list. So I would see the guardians for all of his siblings as well as his own. Because everybody might have a different set of guardians, especially if it's a split family with stepmom, stepdad, and stepdad. And then you click done, and that takes you back to the preview list. And then you click done at the very bottom, and that takes you back to step one. And then you can go to the student list, or sorry, a staff list, the same exact way. You go to custom rule, and then you click contact type again, and then staff. And then save that rule, and give you all your staff members. Again, your data view is based on your building, just like the student info, and then you can sort it down the same way with the same rules. If you want to keep that list, you click add recipient, and then you can keep it, and now you can save it permanently with the cloud. With the cloud, name the list, save the list, list the same. It becomes the new name and no more cloud. So questions over any of the list work? Okay, so now that we've gone all that trouble making a list, I'm going to get rid of it. Because I don't want to send this phony message out to anybody for real and beg you not to do that. So I'm going to move those lists out of the recipients area. And to do that, I just click the X, which didn't delete them because they were saved. It just moved them off of this one broadcast. So now, the way it's set, nobody is going to get this broadcast. Because I can't send a broadcast out unless there's at least one recipient, though. I'm going to click on Add Me, and then I'll put in my own contact info from my account page, so you guys are there. And when you guys click on Add Me, that would be the same thing for you. So put your contact info to a list of one. And then, if you want to change that contact info, it's all popular to the account page. If you want to edit it just temporarily, you can click the pencil and make your changes. It always has to be a 10-digit phone number, but you don't have to enter anything but digits. You can enter your email, you can add a text number if you want. Even if your text number and your phone number are the exact same number, you still must put the SMS number in the SMS field, or you want to get the SMS if you're on a send button. Because the channels are different when you send it out, even though it's the same phone number. Because obviously the phone has to know if it's a text or if it's a voice call, and then it'll appropriately respond. And that's why you need that same number in each field if you want to get both versions of that message. And then you save this, which will only save it for this one broadcast, because it's a temporary edit. So you can use the Add Me when you want to practice, just like we're going to do. So you have only one recipient, and that would be yourself, and you will be the only one to be bothered when you send out the test broadcast, which is practice. You can also add yourself if it's an emergency, and you want to know that the broadcasts are sending. Your phone's going to ring along with everybody else's, so you'll know. And you also get a copy of it to your own contact form, so you get an idea of also how fast it goes now, which is very, very fast. So then we can move to step 2. So you just click continue at the bottom right. And on step 2, you've got 4 broadcast types that you can use to send your messages. You can do a phone message, an email message, SMS message, social media post. You can do any combination of all 4. You can do the first 3 individually. So if I don't want to send an email, I just don't make it. But the social media post, you can't send that one out alone. You have to use at least one of the other formats. And that'll have to be set up by support. So you'll contact support whenever you want to use that feature. They'll connect your specific pages to your account, and they'll walk you through how to use it while they do that. So that leaves us with phone, email, and SMS. So I can make a phone message if I click the phone button. And then I've got 2 options for the phone message. I can't send both. I can only send one or the other. If I want to do call me to record, that's what opens up first. And then my phone number auto-populates in here for my account page. And then I'm essentially going to call myself at that number, and that's how I record the outgoing messages. Automated system. And once I get the call, it'll walk me through how to do a quick message. That's not the number I want to use. I want to use. I want to had that phone today. And my other phone is correct. And then my desk phone I can't use. It would require a half-hour explanation. But essentially what will happen, this phone number populates. If you want to use a different number, type in another 10-digit number. You've got an extension field here, so you can put in an extension of 10 digits. You've got the scratch pad down below, so that you can type in on the script. You can refer to that if you want as you go along, so that you can type everything in there that you need to remember to say and refer to that while you record, so you don't get it. Now, nobody is going to see this phone number. It's not going to be your caller ID number. It's only auto-populates for you, so you don't have to type it in every single time that you use this feature. And then you click call now to record. That's going to let you call yourself, and it takes about 5 seconds for the call to come through. And then you can go through the prompts, record your message, save it, and you're done. And when you see that it's saved, you can scroll to the bottom and click the save button, and that will permanently save it. And then that will take you back to the top of step 2. Or you do text-to-speech. Text-to-speech, but you type in that one message you haven't recorded. You got to be a champion speller to use this, because if you spell something wrong, voices will say it wrong. But you're already on the internet, so if you don't know how to spell it, you can go look it up. And then you can auto-translate with one click. And that'll give you Spanish. If you need more than just Spanish, you can contact support. We've got about 80 different languages that we use with this. And that one click translates them all into that language. And when you send it out, everybody on the contact list gets the language that they want based on their language preferences and inputs that you make. So you don't have to make one message translated. You don't have to make different translations for a different broadcast. You just make it, translate it, send it, and you're done. When you click save, text-to-speech message is ready to go. So then you can move on to email. Now, my email address does not have your domain, and if I don't have an email address with the domain, then I can't send an email. So no mass personal email to the program on possible. I use the default email though, or I could have just copied and pasted it in your domain. And then if I replies, this default email address, you won't receive replies because it's just a dummy email. It doesn't really exist. If I want replies to go to a different email address, I can put it into this field, and that doesn't matter where they go. As far as the domain name is concerned, you put in any email address that you want for your replies. And then your subject auto-populates from step 1. You change that if you want, and you come on down and create your email. If you don't have anything to say that you didn't already say in your phone message, then you paste in your text from your phone message, paste text from phone button. And then you can spruce it up with your word processing tools. You've got all kinds of standard stuff up here as far as font sizes and styles. And then you can add as many attachments as you want to add to your email. All you have to do is attach them one at a time. So you click attach, you browse to the file you want, and then you upload the file once you've found it. You just double click it and upload it. And then once you see success, it's in place, you click OK, and it's going to plug the file into the body of the email as a link. But you can just work the email, you can work the link to the attachment into the conversation of the email if you want to change the display name by typing in something new up here. If I browse for something, they're wiping my computer because I'm getting new ones, so I don't know if I've done anything. Here's a picture. And then I click upload, and I see success, and I see the name of the file that I chose to upload. That file name doesn't mean anything to anyone. If I want to change that display name then, I can make it say click here. Oops, doesn't happen. Or I can change it to what it is, and however I want to do it. Nobody's going to click on 43449.jpg. They have no idea what that means. Once I click OK, it's going to plug the attachment into the body of the email as a link, and then I can preview it. And this is how it's going to look to the recipient when they get the email that you click on the attachment. And then open it up. And there it is. And as many attachments as you want to attach, up to 100 megabytes per attachment, inside. And then when they're all done, you can translate it just like text to speech. And it'll keep the same formatting, so you don't have to redo anything. And then you save it when you're done at the bottom, and the email's ready to go. If you want to send out an SMS, you click that SMS button, and you've got the optional SMS text field that opens up. SMS stands for Short Message Service, so that is exactly what it is. Short message going 160 characters max. So choose your words wisely. It's amazing how fast 160 characters goes. You've got a character counter over here in the bottom right. So when you type, you can keep an eye on where you're at as far as your characters spent. And then when you're all done, you can spell check, you can save it, and you're ready to go to step 3. Question? Everybody good? Nobody said this closing yet? You didn't hear anything. So, no duct tape wrapping, no the brain. That's it. It's not that hard. You continue on to step 3, and on step 3, you can take a little look here at a summary of the entire broadcast, including all the formats that we kind of send in. The recipient count. You want to make sure the recipient count is on the money. That way you don't have to deal with all the unnecessary callbacks beyond what you already have to do with. So if you send it to too many or too few people, you're going to get even more callbacks than you normally do. So you want to go back and edit anything. You can go back and edit everything. All you have to do is go back to the previous steps using the tabs at the top. So if I click back on step 1, here I am at step 1, and I can edit anything that I've got here. I can add another list, remove this list, change the type, subject, whatever I want. And then I have to continue forward, and this is really important. You go back with the tabs, but you always go forward with continue. That's the only way that the changes will be saved. So you continue forward, you edit your messages as you want to. If you have anything translated and you edit that, then you've got to refresh the translation so that it will update as well. And to do that, all you have to do is uncheck it and then check it again. And then you save it again and you're ready to send it out in step 3. If you had a message already saved and you want to use it again, then you just come into the message center like always. So step 1 is you need to. Once you get to step 2, you can click the load save message and pick the message that you want to reuse from the window. All your saved messages from your own account will be here. Click the one that you want to reuse, load it, and then it'll plug itself in, and you edit it any way you need to, save it again, and then send it out in step 3. But now we're ready to send the picture day message. So we've got 3 message options down below. The first 2 are checked by default. You should probably leave that alone. The email report is going to generate itself when the broadcast is finished, and it sends the entire report for the broadcast to your email. That's automatic. If you don't want the email, you don't have to have it though. So you can uncheck that. You can always view your report for the broadcast from your dashboard. When you complete the broadcast section, give you the way you get this report. It's going to give you a play-by-play rundown of every message you sent to every person, in every format, and what happened. So skip duplicates. You want to leave that checked so nobody can get the broadcast more than one time. Even if mom and dad have 3 kids with all the same phone numbers, they'll only hear the phone ring one time for that one message. As long as you leave this checked. Save message content. You want to save it, use it. You should save everything as far as I'm concerned. You can always throw it away later. But it's always much better to need it and not have it than reverse. It's always much better to not need it and have it than to need it and not have it. So once I've set this picture day message, I can reuse this anytime I want to, over and over and over and over again. And I can always edit it for date, time, and content before I reuse it. And that will save me that much time in making a broadcast. But you have to send it for it to be saved. So if you're making like a snow day message that you don't want to send now because it's still nice and warm outside, you can't schedule a snow day, which is too bad. So you just send it to yourself just to save it for when you do need it. Then use the add new feature, and that'll send it only to you, and then you'll have it saved on your account page, and then you can pull it up there in step 2, whatever you want to. If you want to schedule it, you click schedule this in later, and you pick the new date and or time. The time, you have to grab the drag handle, hold the mouse button down, and then drag it to whenever you want to get sent. So it moves in 5-minute increments. You have to go pretty slowly. Once you get it where you like it, let go of the button and it's locked in. And then the start date, you click the date and you pick your date. All you need to do is just click on the date you want, and there it is. And then you click submit, and it'll move this to your dashboard, and it'll sit there and wait until that time and date actually arrives, and then it automatically goes. Or you can send it right now. I click send now. It's on the way. I can see that the success window pops up. So when I click continue, that's going to take me back to the dashboard. I can see that it's running. And then I can wait for the call to come through, which is not going to happen because my phones are, oh, good. It's alive.
Important message from your school. If you the message now, press 1. Please just call on hold. Press the pound key.
So there's the message with the outgoing intro that introduces the call, gives them the menu, and then they actually play the message that you recorded and put that in the text towards the email. I don't know if some of it's completely dead, but apparently it's saved itself. So once the broadcast is done, you can view the reports from your dashboard or the email. And if you want to see it on the dashboard, you have to see that it is a completed broadcast before you want to bother looking at the reports, where you're not going to see anything. At least not the true picture, because it's still sending. It's not done. So click the dashboard tab until it shows completed. And then you can slide over, hover over the wrench and screwdriver. When the tools menu pops up, you click the report link. And from the results at the bottom, you can see the broadcast as it was sent in each format to each person. And you just click on the link above the little donut graph, and you can resort it by any of these results. It wants a person or a voicemail to pick up. If that doesn't happen, it's got to call back a complete time, and then it'll log the final result and the date and time of that result, how many attempts were made, the number that it called, the recipient, that's the owner of the number, so that would be the guardian, and which phone number was called, so 1, 2, 3, etc. And then the contact's name, which would be the students, and then your ID, because you sent the broadcast, and then the broadcast name. And if you go back, you see the email, you click it, you're going to see the same setup, a separate line for each email you sent out, with the result, time and date, the email address, and all that other good stuff. You can download a CSV or a PDF report of each of the formats. And you can keep refreshing the page, and then we'll see what happens and that time we look. So if this email is delivered, if they open it, you'll see it. If they open it under response when they do. If they delete it, you'll see that too. If they only open it for a few seconds, you'll see under 10 seconds it will say scan. More than 10 seconds, it will say red. And then you can come back to the main report, and even though we sent an SMS, it didn't have an SMS number to go to because it didn't put in a field. But there's nothing really to see in the SMS report other than it's sent with. And then you can go back to the dashboard. You can just click back, or you can click the dashboard tab up top, and then you're ready to move on and send another broadcast. And that's all there is to it. Questions? Anything you want to go over yet? Any other questions you have that we didn't go?
Okay. It'll be our attendance, so it's just going to happen automatically.
So I have a question around the attendance. We're going live with the attendance part on October 2nd for our secondary. So as long it's automatically set up to go as soon as it's turned on, right?
Let's see. Now all your attendance imports from the same page as your other import. So your 5 p.m. attendance imports in at 5 p.m.
Yep. And that's our secondary.
Okay. So for whatever building that is sent from, is that the whole building, or every building?
It'll be sent from the school.
Okay. So each attendance account will be set up.
Okay, so let's go with Godrich District Collegiate Institute, that building.
Okay. So I could log in as that account user if I'm an administrator.
Yeah.
And you'll see that import comes in at 5, and then under the system tab, you see repeating broadcast, which is where all those broadcasts live, and they're not on yet.
Okay.
But for that school, I'm not going to look for it, but there's something somewhere. So it'll let or no. And so we're looking for secondary. This one here. No?
Yeah, Godrich, no, it's Godrich Public. There it is, Godrich DCVI, yeah, DCI, I mean.
Okay, so the import comes in at 5 and the broadcast goes out at 5.
Right.
Now, I can log in from here as well to see that broadcast, make sure it's set up. So I'll go ahead and do that. And here I am in the Godrich account, and I click the broadcast tab, and here's a test list that came in. Here's the actual outgoing message, and it's only a phone call. If I click that little phone icon, there it is.
Yeah.
I import all the data into the data field specifically based on the absentee list.
Right.
If student's absent, then when it calls mom and dad and say, your student chose student marked absent today during whatever absent period today, and blah, 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 blah. And that's what they'll get automatically when that import comes in. But remember, you've got to activate the repeat broadcast. I know I made an account of this, but it's not ready yet. So once again, let me just log in the back way. Oops. So each school will get their attendance done and entered into the system, and then we'll import with all the list of absentees at that predetermined time. And then broadcasts will start going out automatically at that time as well. But you've got to go to admin settings, and not all of them, just your administrators. Admin settings, and then enable disable repeat broadcast. And uncheck that box so it'll turn them all on when you save them, and then it'll all start going out automatically. And you can do that the night before or the day of, or right now if you want to keep doing that.
So on Friday night, before
There's no importing as far as absentees, and you can go ahead and turn that on, and no calls will go out.
These are things you do, not
Yeah.
the school.
this is what I do.
Okay,
Yeah.
you need to say that.
Okay, so this is something that I do on Friday night at the end of the day. I guess Monday morning, when I come in Monday morning, I go in and I do my system and then set this up. And on Monday night, everything goes out at 5 o'clock
Right.
automatically.
Uh-huh.
Okay. And I see where I'm at. Okay. Okay. So that's my job Monday morning.
Yep. That's all you have to do is uncheck that disable box and save it. And then they'll all start importing and sending out messages.
Okay.
Do you have to set up a group for that?
Nope.
Like
It's already set up.
how does it pick up though which students are absent that day? So that
Well,
not
everybody has to take roll and then enter that into your import. So your Maplewood, however it is you take roll, it has to go into Maplewood, and then Maplewood imports all the absentees per building into the school messenger.
Diane, you're just going to, it's just going to happen. You're not going to have to do the import and export the way you've done before. Once you've entered the absences in Maplewood, then it's just going to happen from there.
if we have a reason for a student to be absent and that's inputted, like well, they don't get a call, do they?
No.
If it's a legitimate absent and it's been reported and you've coded it the way that it's supposed to be, then that student won't receive a phone call. It's only for the absences that you would have called home for that period that they missed.
So it's just under.
And it's pulled in at 5 o'clock. That 5 o'clock that he showed is the time that data is pulled in, and then it's sent out from there.
Yep, we got 3 attendance setups, 10, 1, and 5.
Right, but it's the 5 o'clock that we use for secondary. And we're only doing secondary at this point.
Okay.
Did that answer your question, Diane?
Kind of.
Okay. Do you want me to give you a call tomorrow so we can talk about it?
Sure.
Okay.
They don't use anything now, so they don't do anything.
Yeah. So, okay. Are there any other questions? I know you have to go for 3 o'clock, right? Jeff?
Yeah. I just got to do a little prep work before my next training. But I got a few more minutes to get me.
Cindy, are you on? Do you have any questions?
She never got back to me.
Okay.
She might not be on.
Okay. All right. So Cindy may not be on.
Okay, why don't we?
I don't see any account log on name with Cindy's name, but doesn't mean she's not on a different one.
Okay. Sorry, I missed that, Jeff.
Oh, I said I don't see any log on with Cindy's name, but that doesn't mean she's not on.
Yeah.
Might be the one that stepped the microphone.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you know what? Thanks a lot, Jeff. And if you can send me that recording, that would be great. And we'll let you get to your next session, and then we can have a quick chat with Diane.
Okay.
All right.
If you guys need any further sessions, we can set them up, or we've got a website where you can take individual sessions as well. You can just register for one at your convenience, and then log into it when the time and date before you arrive.
Okay. Sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Have a good one.
All right. Bye. Diane, I'll give you a call, okay?
Okay.
Just that we're on a message. Okay, thanks.
So we'll call her right now. Before
I can't believe he spent 5 minutes trying to argue with me about it. It's just like, forget it and let's just get it
I was trying to get
done.
on my computer. Diane was trying to get on.
I know.
But then suddenly when he logged on, we could all get on.
Yeah. So
It
he,
was just us though, right? Like you would think he'd be calling here.
and what was I laughing about? There was my number at the bottom of the
Yeah.
screen to say,
Yeah.
call me if there's
Yeah.
a problem. Okay, so what school is Diane at?
I'm Mitchell High School.
Oh, she's at Mitchell.
348.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, Cindy was on, she didn't have her mic on.
Okay, 519-348.
884, just a minute. Four nine four seven two.
Uh-oh, okay, we gotta do it again.
Okay, do it again, just a second, I'll find this
Yeah.
one here. 849-348-8495.
Okay, wait a minute. 519-348.
Who has Mitchell High School? Okay. 8495.
8495.
Hi, Linda, it's Mary Jane. Can I speak to Diane, please?
Yes.
Thanks.
We just didn't have to do anything before anyways. So never want to do anything. We can go up to her. I can go over to her if she wants. Before I come into the office. Because it's like a block away. Oh, I should probably.
Okay.